There's not a fucking chance in hell that Jake Paul would survive. Jake Paul's dead. He's dead. He's not gonna make it. If I was Jake Paul right now, I would be shitting my pants.
Oh, bro, if I'm fighting this guy.
Jake Paul was just attacked by Joe Rogan for calling off the Gervonta fight. And believe me, that is horrible. Calling the choice careless, humiliating, and a total catastrophe. He tore into Paul's ego. What should have been a high-profile event turned into a public nightmare as the consequences sent shockwaves across combat sports, social media, and Netflix. Definitely, my gosh, it appeared to be death. Death! As soon as a cancellation became public, a Joe Rogan came for Jake Paul's neck. There was no preamble or introduction to the subject. Rogan attacked Jake with a kind of rage typically reserved for fighters who disrespect the sport, launching into full-scale verbal abuse. He described the action as careless, humiliating, and a catastrophe brought about by Jake's own ignorance.
My God, for sure. He looked like death. Death.
According to Rogan, Jake imagined he could dance with a power-punching monster like Tank Davis without facing any repercussions because he was drowned in his own ego and dazzled by celebrity and Netflix money. The internet felt the blow when Rogan bluntly revealed that Jake was finally being hit by the reality he believed he was superior to. He was humiliated by Rogan. He left him standing there as a bewildered novice who believed he could control the sport after tearing apart the glossy YouTube superstar illusion. They are all insane. They've all done strange things. They're insane. However, the Rogan explosion was merely the initial one. The second one was like a meteor to the boxing world. The official collapse date was November 3rd. The cancellation announcement was dropped by the Most Valued Promotions as subtly as a grenade. The cycle of excitement was in full swing. The promotional machine was overheating. Then all of a sudden, nothing.
That's the fight.
That's going to be a big fight.
Big fight.
Yeah.
Gervonta Tank Davis' fight was shut down instantly due to his civil litigation, ending everything with a cold, flat announcement and no apology. Fans had waited for millions of views worth of hype, only for the situation to turn radioactive the moment the legal issue surfaced. Jake's team couldn't spin it, and the public exploded with mockery, calling him the Lord of Unsuccessful Events. The entire fight community released all their frustration at once, turning the cancellation into a volcano of anger, chaos, and disbelief.
That's a scary one for fighters, too, because things like there's something about fighters are adrenaline junkies. They like to be pumped up, and yeah.
It was the most violent, public, and rapid collapse of a big event, according to analysts. This fight ended like an explosion in a crowded room, whereas most high-profile fights end quietly with slow leaks and justifications. Everything was destroyed in a matter of minutes. Social media enthusiasm, ticket momentum, sponsorship confidence, and industry trust have all vanished. It appeared to be one of the largest battle scenes of the year just hours before. It was reduced to ashes now, a real-time promotional disaster.
They've all done weird shit.
They're fucking crazy.
There was much more turmoil going on behind the scenes. The real panic occurred within Netflix. Suddenly, the giant that had been making a strong push into the boxing world found itself in a crisis spiral. The Netflix headquarters went into a whirlwind of emergency meetings, frantic internal calls, and terrified inquiries about what to do next as soon as a cancellation occurred. Jake was more than a warrior. He was meant to represent their new experimental combat sports initiative. He was now a liability perched atop a mountain of legal disputes and dashed expectations.
Because he's going to get... Ben never could wrestle. He could never box.
No.
He's a wrestler. Tyron Woodley. I was so sad Tyron Woodley kept losing to him. I love T. Wood, man.
Furthermore, this wasn't just another mishandled incident. This was a complete collapse. A series of events, ripping across every area of the realm of combat sports. Rogan's nuclear outburst came first, followed by the lawsuit explosion, the official cancellation, the fan riot, and finally the business fair. Like unstoppable dominoes, every aspect of the industry was being hit simultaneously. This combat was not simply called off. It burned, smashed, and pulled everything in its path into the flames. The most terrifying aspect is that this was just the start of the harm Jake Paul would experience.
I mean, if he's going to prepare, he needs like a real long camp to really get his body back to fighting shape, like real fighting shape.
After the lawsuit hit, The storm around Gervonta Tank Davis exploded, turning him from a top fighter into the sport's most radioactive name. The event collapsed instantly as serious accusations, violent misconduct, kidnapping, and aggravated battery sent shockwaves through fans and media. Old arrest clips and past incidents resurfaced, and suddenly everyone was connecting the dots, forcing the boxing world to face a reality it had ignored for years.
Some stuff you could do for the entertainment, but then, hey man, we talked about repercussions, bro. You want to talk about somebody's wife?
Because another firebomb went off online just as a lawsuit made Tank the most toxic name in boxing. The scandal of allegedly staged fights. Indeed, scripted refers to practice and orchestrated.
He was a funny shit talker, and then it seemed later in the career it was more almost like forced, like he was trying to be the villain. You know what I mean?
Darker.
It's no fun.
It's also you're dealing with people that are dealing with the pressures of being at the top of one of the most dangerous occupations in the world.
It began with reports that someone had released leaked videos on social media. Normally, this would be dismissed as fan trolling, but this time, the rumors gained traction and eventually the entire internet began chasing after them. Videos of Jake and Tank walking through exchanges, rehearsing reactions, and hitting beats as though they were getting ready for a movie scene rather than a fight were being shared. Additionally, the timing is just bizarre. Claims of fake film abruptly plunge into the commotion like gasoline on fire when the lawsuit is filed and the fight ends.
One shot, knockout power. Yeah.
He had that.
Who then leaps directly on top of it? Naturally, Joe Rogan. Because Rogan won't merely discuss a rumor that has a potential to rock the sport. On his podcast, he will launch it into orbit. He begins talking about unsettling news, claiming that people he can trust told him something didn't seem right. Fans also start paying attention as if it were a national emergency when Rogan says something doesn't seem right. All of a sudden, people are shouting, "Was this scripted?" in every comment section.
Every day when you go to bed, you know there's some dude out there that wants to kick you in the fucking dick.
Joe Rogan, Daniel Cormier, Dana White, and even Tank's coach Calvin Ford blasted Netflix for trying to take creative control of the Jake versus Tank fight, making it feel scripted instead of real boxing. Rumors spread that the event was turning into a Hollywood-style production, angering fans who don't want staged moments in the sport. Then came the twist. Maybe the cancellation wasn't a tragedy but a cover, preventing the world from seeing a fight transformed into a Netflix show. Suddenly, Jake didn't seem unlucky, Netflix didn't seem innocent, and fans were left asking whether the event was doomed long before the lawsuit.
And I think if we were to pause there and ask most people, what do you think he's going to answer? What do you think a fighter would answer to this? We would probably expect things like, I want to prove that I still got it. I want to prove that I could put this YouTuber down.
Because the collapse wasn't only inevitable if even half of these rumors, the practice scenes, the deliberate timing, and the creative input were true. It was essential. It was a sport rescuing itself from a humiliation that would have played boxing standing for many years. And that's the harsh reality. One controversy did not end the struggle. It perished because the surrounding darkness became too large, too ugly, and too noisy for the sport to handle.
Any bullshit that it sucks and it's there, but it's like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's just like, oh, this has happened before. Thick skin, cool, move on.
If there's one thing Joe Rogan didn't hesitate to loudly and repeatedly remind everyone of, it's that he had been raising concerns about this fight long before things went south. Rogan wasn't speculating or making assumptions. Jake Paul had signed himself up for a suicide mission masquerading as a crossover super fight, and he was essentially yelling into thin air. Tank Davis is not little in Rogan's eyes. Because he saves all of his communication for knockout highlight, Tank Davis is compact destruction, a human landmine wearing gloves and a quiet monster.
60 years old.
Right.
I want Jake Paul to fight guys that...
He said he wants to fight Canelo.
Canelo fights 154 or 160. That's one of his best weights.
Right.
He'll fight heavier. Right.
Jake is shorter whenever he tries to emphasize the size disparity. He weighs less. The bigger man is me. Tank's entire career revolves around walking into larger men's chests and blowing them up like he's switching a switch, so Rogan would virtually slap the table. Rogan did a great job of breaking everything down. Tank doesn't fight carelessly. He doesn't bull charge forward. Like a sniper posing as a boxer, he calmly waits and calculates. He deceives his opponents into believing they are safe, and then all of a sudden the lights go out and you wake up wondering what year it is.
Watching how calm, like genuinely calm he was. I'm like, this guy just, and Dana said it best. He's like, he eats pressure. He just eats it. He likes it. He wants it to be chaos. Got a guy say that?
Rogan's warning was clear. Jake wasn't just facing a champion. He was stepping into the ring with a knockout specialist. Experts, coaches, analysts, and former boxers all agreed. Even with a 20 to 30 pound weight disadvantage, Tank could still finish him. For most fighters, weight and size matter, but Tank relies on otherworldly power and flawless timing that make his punches look almost unreal in slow motion.
Jake fought a guy who was his age and who was also considered a boxer, and he lost.
Rogan warned Jake that beating influencers and retired fighters didn't prepare him for a pound-for-pound knockout artist, comparing it to training for a marathon on a treadmill while others ride motorcycles. The backlash was brutal, with fans saying Jake was turning boxing into a circus and Tank wasn't coming to truly compete. But the cancellation wasn't the end. It sparked an even bigger war outside the ring.
I was like, he was like,
well, you don't see the butt that look. You don't see the punches, bro. That's not what
we do.
No.
Jake Paul tried to mess with me for a while. Until I went up to him in Orlando. I said, I don't play like these kids.
Jake Paul spiraled online, posting and deleting rants while fans recorded everything. Tank hit back with sharp insults, calling Jake a coward and a liar. It wasn't trash talk. It was a public meltdown and character attack.
One of the most feared punchers in the sport of boxing. He's got a 93% knockout percentage. That's one of the best among current world champions.
Fans went wild, split over Jake using Tank's name versus Tank being a violent threat. Rogan's warnings went viral. Media dissected every post, and Netflix faced chaos after millions were wasted. Rumors of new opponents, like Anthony Joshua, surfaced, but Rogan called it career suicide, a fight that could destroy Jake if rushed for the cameras.
This fight was produced by Jake Paul's company, MVP, Most Valuable Promotions, and he worked with Netflix to produce this event. And I think that's an important detail. So at some point, him or someone on his team.
By the time MVP announced Jake's rescheduled Netflix fight for 2025, the damage was done. Trust vanished among fans, promoters, and advertisers, exposing chaos behind Netflix's glossy plans. Social media erupted with speculation that the postponement was a marketing ploy, but the truth was clear. It was financial and reputational carnage disguised as a delay.
He has made a significant impact on the sport of boxing. He has certainly brought new eyes to the sport. He's done so much in uplifting women's boxing.
The fallout from Jake Paul versus Tank Davis rocked boxing. Jake's credibility, built on hype and promotion, crumbled as lawsuits, social media meltdowns, and Rogan's brutal critiques exposed his limits. Tank went from elite champion to a reputation-threatening disaster, facing serious accusations that could make him untouchable in the sport. Amid the chaos, Rogan emerged as a trusted voice, calling out egos and poor decisions, while Netflix's push for spectacle over sport cast a dark shadow, raising fears that boxing could prioritize entertainment over legitimacy. This controversy will echo for years, proving the most devastating knockout isn't always in the ring.